Hey there, it's Mary Kravitz here. And lately, I haven't been extremely positive. My business has been in a lull. And what's been happening for me is I've been in this weird cycle where I feel like I'm in a lull. So I come up with this great idea, like, oh, I'm going to do this new thing. And it's usually about doing something that people can enjoy for free. And then I start to work on it and something minor disrupts, like I have a headache or back spasms or my internet goes out, something that disrupts. So I feel better, recover from whatever's going on, but now I also feel behind, also in a lull. So I think of, okay, now I'm going to create something else. I have this great idea. Here's what's going to be great. And I start on it, usually something free again. There's another minor disruption. And this went on and on week after week for like, I don't know, 6 weeks or so. It was making me crazy. And I was just exhausted from it all. And so yesterday I decided I'm getting out of town, drove up to Santa Cruz to visit a friend of mine. And as I was driving, I said, okay, what is behind this cycle, this crazy cycle? And I do my best thinking when I'm driving. So I got the answer right away. The answer that popped into my head was, you've got to start your gratitude practices again and open to receive. That was it. You've got to start your gratitude practices again and open to receive. And it all made sense, just clicked into place for me. And I realized that the thoughts that were running the show of this whole crazy scarcity lack cycle was, I don't have enough and I'm not good enough. I don't have enough and I'm not good enough. And can you imagine that kind of energy and vibration I was bringing everywhere? A little needy, a little scared, a little insecure. It's not very attractive. And so I was getting fewer results, which confirmed my thoughts that I didn't have enough and wasn't enough, and all of this running in the background. So here's what I'm doing to shift it all around. I am going back to my gratitude practices, morning, noon, night, morning and night. I have a gratitude practice, but then really trying to remember breathing in gratitude for what I have, changing the thoughts of, and this doesn't, I don't even have to consciously go, okay, now I'm changing my thoughts, but the gratitude impacts my thoughts very subtly. And it changes from, I don't have enough, to I'm so grateful for what I have. And that really combats the scarcity energy that I've just been vibrating with. So that's the first thing, is doing gratitude practices. And the second thing is this idea of opening to receive, not forcing things, not overgiving just to prove myself worthy. This is all to disentangle the thoughts of I'm not good enough. And so here's what I'm visualizing in order to shift my thinking. I kind of think of the flow of giving and receiving like this pipeline, and it loops out from me and it goes out to everywhere and comes back. So this pipeline. And I feed into one side of the pipeline, you have to give in the world, and then I receive from the other side. When I allow this receiving channel to be open. But it seems like when I get fearful, what I imagine happening is I am like putting stuff into the giving side, but then I'm like, I know I've got to put stuff in the receiving side too, and basically blocking that flow. So at this point, I have this visual of kind of like pulling the stuff out of the receiving channel, kind of like Kleenex, like I'm pulling them out. I'm like, okay, yeah. And just having more trust, because I just kept thinking, I got to put more and more and more, proving myself, proving my worthiness, give, and essentially just running that scarcity energy and blocking receiving. Now this, I don't know how much of this is like, this is how the reality of how things works, but I know that I have to be able to put some pictures to what's happened. I know I need to give myself something different to focus on in order to shift the thinking, to break the cycle. So that's what's been